Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. God, it's Saturday, right? Finally, we don't have to listen to, hopefully, the craziness and chaos that's going on in the world banking industry. So who knows? It was last weekend. We had a bank go under over the weekend, Signature Bank, right? We look at the weekend here, and those of us that pay attention had a nice day yesterday. If you look at what happened to gold and silver yesterday, they were both up about 3%. Even the people that believe in Bitcoin were up. That was about 8%. Not that I'm advocating for Bitcoin. I still think it's a fool's game and the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. But some people are putting their money there as opposed to the banks, which at least at that, I'll give them credit for doing something. I don't think it's a smart idea, but at least they're doing something. Okay. It was interesting because I had a conversation with a guy on Thursday, I think it was, and we were just talking about overall trying to get things done and everything like that. And I said, so what do you think about the banking crisis? He's like, what banking crisis? And I was taken aback for a second. I'm like, you realize 3 banks have gone under in a week. Oh no, I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention, anything like that. And it made me stop and think for a second. I'm like, there's a lot of people out there that have no freaking clue what's going on. Now, I understand people have busy lives. We all have busy lives, okay? Prepper or non-prepper to get things done. You go to the job, feed the kids, do whatever you got to do, laundry, clean the house, etc., etc. But to be completely oblivious to what is going on in the world, just, I can't comprehend that at all, okay? There's a lot of people, no, let's not say a lot, there's a lot of trolls that wind up coming on the channel here and say, all you ever did was talk about politics, or all you ever did was talk about the economy, or whatever it is. How the hell do you know what to prep for if you're not paying attention to what's going on? Let me ask you this. If you have no idea what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, you have no idea what's going on with China, whatever, do you even know what an EMP is? Do you even know that Russia is selling enriched uranium to China to help build their nuclear capabilities? I mean, not nuclear energy, nuclear weapons. Okay. How do you not pay attention to this stuff? I'm not saying go hook, line, and sinker, sit in front of the computer or the TV all day long with, CNN playing, well, not CNN, let's find a real news station, pick something else, playing in the background all day long to hear what's going on. No, but to spend 20 minutes taking a look at least reading the headlines and finding what's going on, again, I don't care about Harry and Meghan, I don't care about Oprah, I don't care about the Oscars. That's not news. That's fluff. Who gives a crap? That's a reporter who had nothing to do today, drew the short end of the stick for the assignments, or some kid that's straight out of college, and they go, okay, where can we send you that you can't get in trouble? All right. That's that kind of journalism. The real journalism is what's going on. And we all know that there's plenty of things that we need to concern ourselves with. You have so many people out there who are conditioned that prepping is what you saw in the TV show Doomsday Preppers or something like that. And, I'm not preparing for the end of the world or anything. No. And we're not asking you to prepare for the end of the world. We're asking you to prepare for the day-to-day problems that happen in everybody's lives, which could also include the end of the world. Okay. Now, if we go into nuclear Armageddon or something like that, and the entire world is a nuclear wasteland or stuff like that, personally, I really don't want to survive it, okay? I don't feel like living in a situation like that. But the other things that can happen, yeah, I want to be able to protect myself from it. And inflated grocery prices. Everybody's dealing with this. Are there ways to protect yourself from it? Yeah. It's called if you were putting food away 2 years ago and you're eating that rice that you were buying at, 19 cents a pound, not the rice that you're buying at 69 cents a pound. That's prepping, okay? Economic prepping. Buying gold and silver, that's protecting your money. Could it be power generation? Yeah. That's protecting yourself to be able to do whatever, to be able to see in the house at night. Stocking firewood or having, backup propane. Yeah, that's protecting to keep yourself warm, things like that. It just dumbfounds me that people go, prepping's foolish, prepping's stupid, whatever it would be. Until you end up doing a little bit about it. And there is a little bit of prepper in everybody. Some of us much more advanced than others. Some are new, okay? And that's why I try to make videos all across the spectrum for people. Because for those of us who've been doing this for a while, okay, we've already crossed a lot of those bridges. For somebody that started last month, last week, last year, they're still in that infancy about, okay, what do I do after I went and bought beans and rice? And so we try to give them ideas. That's called community. That's what we try to build on this channel, is helping each other get prepared. The prepping is no different than car insurance, home insurance, whatever it is. It's just like anything else. You have it, you hope to God you never have to use it. Unfortunately, in prepping, I can guarantee you're going to use some. Probably not all. Let's hope I never have to use my gas mask. Let's hope I never have to use a weapon against another human being. But I have it in case I need it, okay? And again, it goes back to that old saying, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I can't tell you how many times Mrs. P and I are like, oh, we need this. And I'm like, hang on, let me go get it. Because it's in the preps. I mean, we were looking for super glue the other day for something stupid, right? Just to glue something together. And like everybody else, you got a junk drawer in the kitchen, and we keep some super glue in there. How often do you use super glue? And it was dried out. Okay, throw it out. And I went to our prepper pantry where we have dry goods, grabbed another thing of super glue, and solved the problem. No big deal. There's a lot of that when you're a prepper. How many times have you heard people go to the grocery store and go, hey, cool, laundry detergent's on sale. How many did you buy? 1. Why don't you buy 6? I only need 1. Okay. It was, make numbers up, $8 today. It's normally 13, right? Yeah. Well, if you bought 6, you'd save $25 in the future if the prices stay the same. Oh, I never thought of that. That's called prepping, okay? You take advantage of things where you can. You get what you can when you can. I mean, I've mentioned many times about when you go to the grocery store, if chicken breasts are on sale, cheap price, buy everything. But I don't want to eat chicken all week. Give it a month. And what you've got in the freezer, you'll rotate out what today's pork day, today's beef day, today's chicken day, today's fish day, whatever it would be. Mrs. P and I were at the grocery store a week or so ago. I don't know if anybody else eats these fish fillets or whatever it is. They're usually like $10 or $11 for 2 pounds, right? And we found, get this, a 2-pound bag of whiting type of fish, okay, for $4. Guess what? I had a cart full of whiting that went in the freezer. Why? Because it's less than half price. It freezes fine. Great. You know what? We had fish for dinner the other day. Hey, it was great. That's called prepping. These are the things that new people, need to understand, and what it's up to us to teach them how to do. How to pick something, save money, how to sew, how to garden, how to fix things around the house. Not necessarily how to turn the screwdriver, but how to have the equipment so when something happens, you can do it. I'll give you a silly one, all right? And think about anybody. You live in the suburbs or something like this. You know, live in a house. If you live in an apartment, there's a different solution. But I remember doing this when we were kids. We'd be 8 years old, 7 years old, playing baseball. Used to play baseball with tennis ball, right? And some kid had hit the ball, happened to be me a couple of times, and it would hit a neighbor's window and break the window, right? Okay. And so you go ring the doorbell with hat in hand and apologize for breaking the window and everything. That was it. You know, this is back in the 70s, so, you know, people didn't go, I'm going to sue your parents and yada, yada, yada. But let's say something like that happens right now. You have a broken window for whatever reason. What's your solution? Here it is at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have a broken window right now. Okay. You know, it's going to be cold today. I'd like to be able to cover that window up to keep everybody else in the house warm. And I can go to Home Depot and go get a window or something like that, unless I have to order it, which is possible. I'm not saying keep spare windows around the house, but let's say it's 6 o'clock at night. You're not going to fix a window in the dark. Do you have something to put over it? Do you have a sheet of plywood just in case to cover a window? You know, security for the night at least. Or are you going to plan on sitting on your living room couch with, you know, your AR, your AK, or whatever it is, making sure nobody sees an open window and says, hey, look, we don't even have to break in the house. It's already wide open for us. Those are the little things. Do you have an extra can of gas around the house? Not saying for your lawnmower or whatever, just in case something happens and, oh my God, I forgot to get gas on the way home in the car. I can put some gas in the car. You know, whatever it would be. Those little things. Teaching other people how to prep. Prepping, most of us are not going to be able to prep for nuclear Armageddon, okay? I'm not digging a bunker in my backyard or whatever, and I'm not planning on living the rest of my life in some 8x10 box underground, okay? I'd rather be in a pine box than a steel box at that point. You know, that's not... At that point, I'm like, you win, okay? You want to nuke the world, destroy humanity, that's fine. It's not a society I want to live in. I don't want to live in Mad Max. But everything else, okay, if it's a 1 second after scenario, I want to live through that. If it's a hurricane, if it's a tornado, if it's a wildfire, I want to live through that. If it's an economic crisis of Joe's creation, I want to live through that, okay? People lived through all of that. If it's a war, I want to live through that. Pretty much every disaster that has ever happened in the history of the world, other than the extinction of the dinosaurs, okay, people have lived through. I want to continue living through all those as well. That's what I prep for. The chances are all the ones I'm going to see in my life are going to be smaller than nuclear Armageddon. Those are the ones I want to prep for. And that's why prepping is important. Anybody that says it's a waste of time, it's stupid, you're wasting money, those will be the first ones that knock on your door. Just be prepared for that. And have an answer lined up that starts with no. Pinball out.